Hi guys, and thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. My name is DeLadysigner, and today we are back with another video of Tiny Glade, a super cozy building game that will launch on the 23rd of September. And as promised in the previous video, I really wanted to try and see how far I could get with creating like this Cinderella castle, or at least like a Disney castle vibe. And so here we are, and I'm actually super excited to share this one because the end result really did surprise me, like pleasantly surprise me, even though I also do have a few points of critique, or at least things that I really would like to see changed when like this is the first time I'm really going into more detailing. Like the first episode we did was me just really figuring out most of the things. I'm still trying to figure out most things, of obviously, like there's still a lot to explore and a lot that I probably don't know, but I went into more detailing here, and I was actually really pleasantly surprised to see what I was able to do with the tools that we have in the game. Like sometimes it really felt like some things are made to do this or something, like probably not, but sometimes I was like, oh wait, this edge is like exactly what I was looking for. And yeah, I don't know, it was just super odd and super amazing actually to see that some things are really possible in this game. Of course, we cannot go into too many crazy details because I think in that regards the options are limited, although could be that I still don't know half of the things that you can actually do with this game. But I just decided to start from the top, from the castle, and just work my way down to see how things would go. Like, obviously scale is a little bit hard, so I would not really say this is a one-on-one recreation of Cinderella, but I just had like a picture right next to me and like Google Maps just to see like, okay, how does this castle fit into each other, and how does it work with the towers, and how are the towers decorated. And yeah, I just tried to see how far I could get, and I'm definitely super happy with the end result. Now, I do have to admit, like, one of the things that I initially didn't really plan, I thought, like, okay, I'm just gonna start with the castle, and for some reason, I had this idea in my head that I was able to raise the terrain underneath the castle later on, and then put the castle on a hill or something. So that was like what I envisioned, and I first thought like, okay, maybe I should do the terrain first, and I don't know why, but I scrapped that idea and I was like, no, just first make the castle and then do the terrain. And later on when I tried to do the terraforming, like the whole castle just moved so much and it scared me a little bit. Like all the little pieces moved separately from each other, and I was like, okay, this doesn't really feel like going super well. So I was a little bit afraid that I had to move all the pieces one by one if I would have raised the terrain later on. So I decided to just not do that for now and just try and see what I'm able to do with having the castle just being flat on the terrain. So yeah, I had to change my plans a little bit here and there, but it was totally fine in the end. But when building a castle like this, you right away notice, like, at first you have like these separate areas, so it's not really a big deal, like you're just going into detailing and adding stuff towards the castle. But in the end, like if you remember the castle of Cinderella, Disney castle, you have like all these towers around the castle that are connected with different walls or different buildings or whatnot. And then you notice like, oh shoot, you really have to do each tower by yourself, as far as I know. And maybe I was overlooking anything, there's no option to just say, hey, I created this tower, I want to combine this group together and then duplicate it, for example. Like duplicating, I really do miss a duplication button in this game. So yeah, doing the towers in the end was definitely a little bit repetitive maybe. So that is definitely something, if the devs are watching, a duplicate button or an option to duplicate buildings would be really, really useful, especially when creating these kind of things. Like, I can imagine, well, even if you're creating like a village, for example, like a bigger village, I can totally see people just wanting to copy paste a few of the houses and just make adjustments onto those houses instead of like having to create all these houses one by yourself. So you see what I mean? So those were definitely something that I really had a like. It frustrated me a little bit because, well, when you do 2 towers or 3 towers, it's okay. But I think this castle has maybe 6, 7, maybe even 8 of these towers. So, and then doing all these little windows one by one. You see what I mean? So yeah, duplication button is definitely something I was missing. But the same goes for like what I said, when you wanna, maybe you wanna move a building or something like that. In my case, I just really wanted to raise this whole castle just all at once on top of terrain, and it will be just so amazing if you would be able to like connect the whole building onto each other. So it will pretty much just work as one piece. So you will be able to move it and you will be able to just raise it on top of terrain. That will be just so amazing, because that would give you so much more creative freedom. Because yeah, the mistake that I really made here was just the fact that I didn't start with the higher terrain. And later on, I did decide to like add water around the castle, because I was like, okay, if I can't put it on top of a mountain, then I need to do something else, and the water is so pretty in this game. So I decided to add water around it. But then you also, I think it's also in the speed build, you will also notice that the castle will just fall down a little bit, and I still had to fix like a lot of the, especially the buildings in between the towers on the lower level. Oh my goodness, I had to change the height of all of them later on, and change the roofings and stuff. Like the roof of those towers in between, I did cut out a little bit because I found it too repetitive even myself. But you can tell that there are like 2 different rooftops on top of each other, because I really wanted to have like this little edge as well on the wall. So yeah, when I was placing down the water, yeah, the castle just moved by itself, and I was like, oh no. And then the other thing that I did notice was the fact that, like, you see it falling down now, and I was like, oh my goodness, okay, I need to continue and hope for the best. But I was able to fix it, so I guess it was all good. I wonder how it would have been if I would have placed it on a mountain, but we're not gonna find out at this point. But I really wanted to have like this bridge or anything, but unfortunately, something that I'm really missing in this game, what would be super amazing if it will be added, was like, it's like a bridge that you can just draw with the pathing tool. Like, you can create bridges with the building pieces, which is really fantastic. I'm actually placing down a lot of these flat building pieces, more, I don't know how you call it, like a terrace or a balcony, or like just a pathway, I'm not really sure. But something at least around the castle, I thought at first, like, oh, that's a great idea. But I actually, when I was creating my thumbnail, I was like, I'm so annoyed by the edges around the water. So I just decided to remove it later. So in the cinematic shots, you won't be seeing this whole pathway around the castle. The castle will just be in the water itself, which looks so much more pretty, if you ask me. But yeah, it is a pity, because you have like these really cute tiny props and all that appear when you add like these windows and doorways and all. But yeah, they are all removed again later on because there is no pathway. But I had a really hard time with connecting this I'm just gonna call it a pathway as well, with the terrain. It's not working super smooth. Like, you can, as soon as these buildings connect to the terrain, you can add a little stairs to it, so that is really nice. But it didn't really look how I really wanted to, so I did change that as well a little bit for the cinematic shots later on. So it looks a lot better if you ask me than how it is right now. Added like these two little towers as well at the front of the pathway going over the water or the bridge. But yeah, those are like tiny things that I'm definitely missing that I would love to see changed later on. I actually at some point did regret a little bit that I started in the autumn map, but I just already used the flowery map, which would have been perfect for this castle, and I thought, no, I should just go and try something different and go a little bit out of the box here. Or I'm not really sure if it's really out of the box, but let's not go for the pink castle. Or yeah, is it pink? Yeah, the pink castle. But go for a white castle with blue roofings in the autumn map. And I think it just looks so freaking adorable when also looking at the cinematic shots. I was really pleasantly surprised, especially from the top, just seeing the castle in the water in between all these orange autumn trees. I think it just looks so pretty and so beautiful. So yeah, I'm definitely really happy with the end result, even though it was not really my initial plan to create this castle in the water. I think it looks really, really nice, but it would be really cool if you would be able to like duplicate this building or like maybe save the building even, and I would just be able to put that castle also in a different map, or even better, just be able to upload this to a Steam workshop and you guys would also be able to download my castle and then be able to use it as well for your builds if you want to. Yeah, I really am happy with the end result of the castle, in case you didn't know yet. As you can see, we're ending here with a beautiful time lapse just because I really wanted to show you guys the different time of day. It looks so gorgeous. I'm such a big fan of this beautiful change of day, and like seeing the moon behind the castle and seeing the sun rising. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So definitely, even though I do have some things of improvements for this game, I'm definitely still super excited about this game and definitely will try some other things as well. But I am planning to also create a video with like things I would love to see added into the game, so definitely also stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for all the other creations that I'm going to do in Tiny Glade. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys all think of this beautiful Cinderella castle that we created in Tiny Glade. Leave a like at this video if you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe of course if you haven't already. And yeah, I just really do hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!